Hello, welcome and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we're gonna be finishing up the story narration for Invitation to Wine. Now, first off, like I said in the previous episode, I'm gonna try and do a sort of lore-friendly run of Stage 9. Lore-friendly pretty much just means I mash together every single character that has appeared in this story, at least pre-battle, not post-battle, considering there is 2 extra operators that do appear after the battle, which we'll see in the story, but I have not included them in this run. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting. The only discrepancy that I had to do, or rather the only exception I had to do, I had to put a healer in there with the people I had to take with, so it's the only outlier, but look, they had to live. Now, obviously today we're gonna go over stage 9's story and the ST-3 story at the end. To finish it off, there is still a lot of text in here. Like I said last time, stage 8 does not have a story. It is purely a battle stage titled Obsession. So we'll directly begin from stage 9 today. Now, like the previous times, as a quick summary of what the hell happened in the last episode, chaos. Well, yeah, essentially to what it boils down to is Black Knight goes and steals the cup, gets the cup stolen from her by the pole carrier guy, who stole it because the innkeeper wants it, because he wants to provoke the innkeeper to pretty much to a fight to the death because of their complicated past. The innkeeper's adopted daughter does not want to see any of that happen and butts into their fight. Meanwhile, as Lee is off on his own adventures and is experiencing weird visions, hallucinations, and who the hell knows what else, and someone else speaking through his body. I think that's what a suggestion there is, that someone is speaking through him, right? It's not like someone else is appearing to look like Lee and talking. I think that's the whole idea. Meanwhile, everybody else is pretty much on the way to the top of the mountain where Ling is, and that pretty much sums up the rest. Everybody else is literally going up the mountain as of right now and is being dragged into whatever the hell is about to happen. So, let's begin, shall we? This is the story around stage 9, titled Sui Xiang. So let's begin with the before battle, but before that, let me bump up the volume for the background, considering the music in the scenes is always so low. So, here we go. Young man. Can I ask the way to the estate of Liang, magistrate of Shangshu? It's close by, I think. Turn right there and keep going, and once you see the Payfeng arc, turn left and you're at the Liang estate. Is it spacious? Who knows, I'm not allowed in. But from the outside, I think it doesn't look that different from any other place. Might even be a little rundown. What does it say on the arc? I don't remember. Thank you. Hey, old man. It's getting dark. How about I show you the way? You might get hit out there. No need. I can see the way. My foot. It's stuck in a rock. That's enough. You've lasted 33 moves. Commendable. You never were pulling your true weight at all. If you're interested in joining the army, your prospects will surely be bright. I'll admit I contemplated it when I left Kobu City, but the proverb puts it well, don't bite off more than you can chew. I'll repay Rhode Island's grace to me for now. To know grace and repay it, qualities hard to come by. A shame you're trapped in your situation. In a literal sense to boot. If I break my leg, maybe I can tug it out still. Let's try it and see. Zhengxingzhu, I'll assist you. Stop right there. You. I regard this tangle as a farce and invested nothing in it. But you show me I was wrong. You've got less to say now. You've always had so little to say in the past. Zhang Xingzhu is only silent when going all out, but when he goes all out, no opponent escapes intact. Are you done talking? I'm only speaking to myself. It's raining. What? He broke Shang Zhong's staff so easily, before we could even react. How did he do it? Who are you? A bamboo hat and raincoat. The rain is your sword. Excellent kung fu. Stop fighting. Stop, all of you. Wouldn't it hurt to be a little peaceful? Not to mention how capable they were. If they were willing to cause a commotion, they'd have won and come out looking reasonable too. You're the boatman who was with the Arknights since the beginning. Of course, Ling Shun had two plans prepared. This deceived both the Sui regulator and the Ministry of Rights. As an official, Mr. Liang has his restrictions, but don't you think the Sui regulators have been too arbitrary this time? It wouldn't be the Sui regulators' first time either. My son died because of you. Don't forget it. And why all this fighting for our lives here? Sticking your nose into this too. How capable do you think you are? Thinking that had such a permanent fixture always did strike me as awfully odd. Unless, of course... Shen Lu, this is Sui regulator business. It's not yours to interfere in. I'm just a passing boatman, encouraging you all to stop slaughtering each other here. From the goodness of my heart. And checking on the state of the summit, Mr. Liang asked me to take a look. There were bandits terrorizing the border waterways in recent years. The court sent men to sort it out, cracking down the thunder. Without Tianxi leading them, some of the best in the court infiltrated enemy lines. In order to avoid alarming the enemy, the heroes pretended to be waterway bandits themselves, stealing into their den, rounding them all up at once. But when they came back out, they ran headfirst into a group of boaters who sought to stand up for justice. There was quite some misunderstanding. They were hardly lifelong boaters, though, and the boat was just a skiff approaching the waterside bandit den on its own. No more, no more. I'll die for embarrassment. I'm not young anymore, and I didn't want to wade in for a fight like that. Fight like some brawler. The people only knew that the Anshis took the lead. They had no idea that others beyond could truly be calling the shots. The Imperial Guard drillmaster appraised you quite highly. Oh, that girl was so young, but her kung fu was incredible. I heard she'd already been helping train the other warriors. She would go far, very far. But I'm not here today to reminisce. An escort like me has only deep respect for you, Master Shen. No matter if it's our first meeting, I'd hear you out. It's just that we're settling both public and personal bills today, and your word might not make it in. That's the size of it. But I did agree with Mr. Ling that I'd express some things on my own. No matter what the Department of Discipline and Supervision decides afterwards, I'll shoulder the burden. But for now, don't let any dogma here harm our friendships. That won't fly. If Liang Shun sent you, then this can't be as simple as a check. You plan to meddle in the Sui regulator's affairs. The Sui regulator just wants to push Tian Shibai into action. Does it make any difference if I act for him? Master Shen, I'm on your side. Friendship is wealth, they say. Where's your benefactor? Ahead for now. That's fine. Huh. What? Where did that summit and pavilion come from? That's what we've all been looking for. Here's hoping we can keep the control. Or else we can only resort to violence. Are you aware what you're saying? I need your agency's help, young candleholder. We should be in agreement about the stakes here. Are you going to kill yourself? I'm not that out of it yet, but things are getting tight. Is its mind not yet not your minds? Of course not. It's about time we rose up against that giant self of ours. All nonsense. What ideas do you have? Are you willing to trust me? I'm only obligated to hear out your idea. Whether I trust it or not is the Sui regulator's decision. You hold fine tastes, my lord, to be admiring the snow in the mountains at this hour. Here, sit. You knew I would come. Of course you would come. When did the Sui regulator first seek you? A year ago. On what matter? Finding the goblet. Merely finding it? At first. A year ago, Yan realized something. Victoria's incidents, Ursa's endless unrest, one of Lehanian's empresses losing her voice. All under heaven was in turmoil, and Yan had to prepare. The court met day after day and passed the 28 policies, nothing unaccounted for and not solely seeking the safety of Yan, but offering survival to the known world. But outside of the 28 policies published, there were still hidden 2 more that needed Yan's urgent decision. Huh. What 2? There are wicked foreign spirits to the north, seas to the south, and even more hidden dangers from Sui bestializations. All along, the Sui regulator has advocated for initiative in settling this Farenmut problem. The Ministry of Rights doesn't agree. Not at all. The High Minister is indeed correct. There lies not only there lies not only usable talent among those 12. There are, above all else, several brilliant and virtuous. But the Sui regulator very founding was aimed at sorting out the issue at this Faramund. Their opinion cannot be taken on all matters. The Sui regulator was, at its founding, but subordinate to the Ministry of Rights. It was only the disaster following that game of stones that elevated the Suyu regulator in position. It is a hidden malice of 1,000 years brewing calamity till today. To reckon with it is due. But it's not the Sui regulator right to decide, nor for the Ministry of Rights to say. The current Grand Tutor? The Grand Tutor has met with the Grand Offender. I see. Looks like I really did nap too long. So what's that old guy's like? His physique was paper thin and he didn't seem like he knew arts. I thought he was just some random nosy guy poking into everybody's business. The Grand Tutor mends the realm's affairs, inspecting for leaks and patching holes. Huh, I thought you get angry at me bad-mouthing the oldie. Angry? When you show anger at a rascal child who blames the sky for raining. This boy, he's got a steely tongue. That's the first time I've seen Nian get checked like that. The Grand Tutor gave the Sui regulator a hidden aim, something that must be accomplished whether or not we openly chaff with the Ministry of Rights for it. Oh, and what's that? 3 things. It is turning colder. The mountains are always quicker to cool. This mountain truly did not choose its scenery well. How does it keep hold of its customers? How do you figure? You cannot see the sunset. That's fair. Is it very arduous that you do so much for the Sui regulator, my lord? It's even more arduous hiding it from you, Miss Ning. 3 years ago, for the Ministry of Rights, I was sent to Shangshu to supervise Ling, who was suspected of settling here. A new magistrate of Shangshu had more sway in reality than some of your ordinary colleagues. It is true. I first thought you were inflexible, easily riled. I must have amused you, Miss Ning. My lord, for what purpose have you done so much over all these years? My own outlook has never changed. I do it seeking the well-being of the people of my home. Hesitating not to decide the Ministry of Rights and the Sui regulator? What could be more important than the people's safety? You know the Ministry of Rights is prepared. Sprinting thunder was always the emblem of the passing of winter. I wish not for its clap to reduce the 3 mounts 17 peaks by yet another. You are as you ever were, my lord. But you still are not willing to face me in the end. How could I? And how could you not? Your behavior is all too clear. Our ranks are different, our posts burden us. But if you come as no more than Miss Ning, then I, Liang, would be more than glad to. Huh. So such openness is also within your capacity. Liang Jun lifts his teacup. No tea is within, but still he takes a long drink from it. Three things. First, retrieve the goblet. We don't know why, but he spilled all to the Grand Tutor as the cup's origins and rough whereabouts. And you weren't worried it was a trap. Second, aside from preserving the 2 hidden policies, find an even more reliable proposal to keep this situation suppressed to a minimum. Oh, Yan always comes off real cautious whenever you touch on the folk of the realm. Third, go on. No matter who they are, should more than 3 proxies gather on one side, pass on personal handwritten instructions from the Grand Tutor. Handwritten instructions? Correct. So I ask, where is Dusk? How did I... Who are you? I forgot about you. Whatever, someone knocked you out. Where's Dad and Sheng Xiang and the giant ball? Don't bother looking. You won't find them. This is... Hmm? So she could alter heaven and earth in the blink of an eye. The woman who suddenly appeared, just what could her game be? You're joking. Not again. They're in a painting? What do you mean? You wouldn't understand even if I told you. Wait, where are you going? The summit. But isn't the field of forgotten water right there? When did that pavilion appear? It came from time immemorial. These things. Is she imitating me with these things to mock me? You really don't know how to cut slack. This is my duty. I have a question. Just a question, okay? If I don't go along with you, what will the Sui regulator do? They'll simply do again what was done a millennium ago. Moreover, now we are strong and you are, and your power's feeble. Huh. The Sui regulator's principles are simple. Finish it once and for all and forever with the future of a plague. And that's why I'm telling you, we've got the same stakes in this as you. You're only scheming to allow yourself escape. Even if I believe you, why should I believe you can accomplish this preposterousness? If you can't, then how much unnecessary danger will your existence endanger? Doesn't the Sui regulator have an even more dependable plan to solve this problem? You cannot convince me. Looks like we're at a deadlock. What do you think? Are you asking me? You can just go ask the one you were looking for. You must be. I see. So this is his supposed big idea? What do you mean? You're the one who doesn't know anything at all, boy. If you don't want 300 years of standing in the corner, then don't give me that look. Dusk, it's alright. Calm down. You know how this goblet came about? Hand it over. You tasked Lian Shun with it. Lian Shun tasked me. If you want the cup, I think you should go ask Lian Shun for it. You understand reason, Mr. Li. You should know the severity of this. I'm sure Lian Shun has his reasons. If Ning Xinshu doesn't give a reasonable explanation, Lian Shun will pay for his illiterate action. Okay, we can dial down an aggression once in a while, little buddy. If the Sui regulator is so thirsty to have this... Wait, why does the Sui regulator want this goblet so bad again? It's that... it's a Weichi weirdo's scheme, probably. He's bored enough to... No, he's not like this. Is he actually still locked in the capital? What happened? The last time the Sui regulator near the shrine, a body was discovered inside it. It was Grandmaster Zheng Ru. Heart failure, died while vomiting blood. The Weichi board was quite empty, save for a single black stone at the center. Didn't you say you had a whole taboo about meeting him? The Sui regulator is investigating it. But this goblet, without a doubt, is a crucial key to uncovering his plot, and the two of you, Miss Nian, Miss Dusk, the Sui regulator wishes for you to come with us. Now that's getting a little complicated. Is he really a step ahead of us? Why limit yourself to one step? No wonder the old man was so overbearing. In that case, how about Miss Liang? The Sui regulator records that he disagrees with all the other bestials, willing only to recite poetry and make merry with Liang and Shun. Also, I just noticed he, that is a typo, should be she, and there we go. If she still won't show herself, then the Sui regulator's only option is to... Hmm? Do you seek me? Her gaze is at the setting sun, crossing the immemorial and other times besides. For in truth, time is a place only the free and unshackled can hold their step in. Phew. Come, look now at this view. The sun is true, and the water runs yet long, while snowfall flows through moonlit vacant sky. The setting light sets clouds ablaze. How charming, yeah, how fine. With such beautiful scenery, why still must you persist with such unjoyful topics? When did... You and your father in his younger years do seem so alike, and yet you could turn a blind eye to this, to a sky of endless twilight clouds. Have you never been alive upon this land? Okay, keep applauding the sunset in a moment. I spent a lot of effort hauling dusk out to find you, and I didn't do it just to hear you wax poetics. How a long time no see, Nian, Dusk. And you? Me? Huh? You and Oli know each other? No. Prior to this? Do such lovely means not insult your character some? I couldn't get it past you, but I never imagined you'd see through me in an instant. Whose path do you think you walked? I wasn't banking on truly fooling you. And besides, he's the one who daydreamed. The one who met him in a dream was only me. Isn't this a game I learned from you? Myself, I stay when I awake. The butterfly, it stays in dreams. But will it be him still when he comes to? Who knows? Is it beyond you? How dearly rude, Ling. If you have the true capability, go bicker so with our eldest brother. Why the cruel trickery on a common human? Those of different ways cannot plan for one another. So you and I are the same way. Why did I not know? For how vivid your toast drinking rivalry were, you're quite merciless. Which is right. After all, you've thrown away that goblet I sent you. Could I ever? It was simply a moment's distraction, while singing to the moons. I should be the one disappointed. At that time you had far in advance laid one stone. And what do you laugh at? Nian's own overestimation, Dusk's timid impotence, your uninvolvement, and myself for considering myself so infallible. You truly wish to substitute? What is it? What are you looking at me for? No, it is only me seeing through a dull game. What did you seek me for? What, we can't just pay you a nice little visit, Ling? You fell asleep. I'm asking, did you fall asleep? How are you able to... When drunk, I simply sleep. What of it? How did you do it? You ask how I did it. Ah, I understand. You cannot fall asleep, can you, my poor little sister? Is it because you fear to have nightmares? If it can't even be called a nightmare. In many years we have not met. So such things are vexing you, and your paintings? Could your paintings not bear the weight of your dreams? No, is it that you finally begin to feel that paintings are but false? You... Hey, don't mess with my paintings. You bundled all those guys below us into your little world, I'm guessing? Ah, and what for? Crude mounds, parched waters, a heart like unto ashes. How dull. But these adorable minor scrawls, these I still find so amusing. What need you feed them? You should know what we're here to do. Nian. But your idea, where will our course ultimately be taken? Don't stare at me like that. I'm thinking about it here, alright? But right now I still don't know. You don't know then? You do not know. Not the finest of plans. Dusk, that scroll all filled with matter in depth. It is stagnant, stuck, somewhat boring. Be rid of it, perhaps. You don't get to tell me just like that. Forget not her at the outset, who gave you all true names in one lone word, and what hopes she had for you. Ancient history by now. What did you just... Nothing, only a moment of bliss snatched away and apart from this world. The Grand Tutor had something for you to hand to me, no? This and that are independent. Even once you see his instructions, you must still behave and come with the Sui regulator. All to find him, find that basket of blunders. Indeed. Take it. Oh, a letter. Your so-called Grand Tutor's instructions. No. This handwriting, would it be him? The Grand Tutor is an even stern one. He would never draft instructions in such flowing script. Did he tell you no more? My duty is solely to give the letter. A letter of the court, the first in a long time. Is it to us? When did humanity ever get the guts for that? I thought only the tree lung and his little pose would work that sort of courage up. Then you look at its contents. Affairs come in no more than threes. Huh. One affair, no more than thrice, I see. Okay, I get it. Yeah, we sure do fit that bill right now. A fulfilled omen? That the decrepit Grand Tutor couldn't have written this. This handwriting looks like G's, but she already... Could someone else have copied her somehow? But why do it as the Grand Tutor's instructions? It was that basket of blunders. It seems in recent years he's written no shortage of things. I thought he was obstinate, that it would only be right he incur Jan's flames, and now this written orders is another move of his. And why should the Grand Tutor send the letter in his stead? Hey, unless the Grand Tutor chose to play white? Hey, stop mumbling to yourself. The three lapse into silence. Though they have existed for so long, the sisters are momentarily stupefied. The wind blows from primordial to present, this time no longer this moment. That's... impossible. Is even this something he can do? Don't ask me. But, well, even if it's just a reflection, I don't like how it's looking at us. Dusk, you scared? Don't you always have plenty of ideas? Think of something. Hey, Ling! We've got a band together. What are you doing? Something suddenly came to me. Last I felt that drunk. I should have left 2 vessels of wine here. There they are. Husang? The flavor is still fine to the nose. If you're so cool, do you have any solutions? Solutions? What solutions? Solutions to deal with it. A solution to address ourselves. No, need I tell you? You're not just going to sit on the sidelines this time, are you? I hardly could. We meet again. On this turn, do I dream of you, or do you dream of me? By her tail, Ling lifts the jar half full of wine and pours it forth into the cup, meant for the one who seems the culprit of it all. She lifts it to the heavens. Shall we drink? I will refrain. May you all come one by one and take your seats. What happened? Where are we? This feeling, it's just like being in one of Dusk's paintings. In that case, who are you? The night parts as a curtain. A silhouette sits straight within the center of the room. Behind him is hung half a scroll. The way to paradise. If you have nothing to do, what say you chat over a game with me? Alright, and as I said, I'm gonna include this battle cause I did something. Well, as you can see, I pretty much smashed together everybody in here who was part of the story so far. Obviously, not everybody, every single one of these is participating in the battle. Technically, it's only me and Dusk and Ling who are fighting the big shadow. But yeah, the 3 of them wouldn't have lived through that. I tried, believe me, I tried. That did not work. I did look up online if there was like a method to do it between maybe Ling and someone else as a support, but the only thing I found was, well, probably the most useful one I found was Ling plus what's her face? Nerl the Radiant Knight on skill 2 to kill the big boy, but yeah, that wouldn't have been appropriate for what I'm about to show here. But this works. It worked. Hopefully it doesn't break at some point, but we'll see. So, let's get into it. As it's gonna run itself. And as I enjoy my coffee. Let me bring down the volume a bit, considering the stages are louder than anything else. But yeah, what can I talk about here? Well, essentially, if you haven't seen it already, essentially the premise here is these little flames are approaching the big ball there and feeding it extra health. So technically it's a boss with 2 health bars if they reach him. If they don't reach him and you kill all of them way faster than what I just showcased, he will automatically spawn. But if you let them reach him, he gets another health bar. This is also a 3-stage battle, meaning this guy has to be fought 3 times total. So we basically have a boss phase, then an ad phase, then another boss phase, then another ad phase, then another boss phase. But yeah, essentially, as he is spawning every single time, he moves one tile forward, which means his entire field will also move with him. Which is a thing you have to consider when you do this stage and keep moving your units backwards. Otherwise they're gonna be mauled. One thing that isn't too visible right now is that I have deployed on the very top under his health bar that is covering the screen right now. Nothing to do extra damage up there. But yeah, there we go. Stage 2 is done. Now we have another ad phase. Pretty much same thing as it was before. Not gonna lie, I kinda enjoy these big bulky boss battles, especially if they prove to be some kind of challenge. The last time... what was the last big one that covered like the entire map? Or a huge portion of the map? Was it the big boss in... well, there is one, I believe there is one in Integrated Strategies, but I haven't seen it yet myself. Is the last big huge portion of the map covering boss really just the one from shit, what was the event called? I'm blanking out. Arknights? Is that the last one? But that one was kind of honestly boring to do. Didn't really pose much of a challenge. This guy is a special nutcase. Alright, there we go. Done. Luckily it didn't break. Okay, putting the volume back up, considering we're gonna continue the story right now. Right, and now we go to the after story. What's going on? Is it thundering? It looks like it's storming on the mountains. What's happening with the weather recently? Is there something above there? Huh. Can anyone tell what that is? We have been stuck here for 2 or 3 days now. If you still can't find a way out, maybe that means... quiet. Perhaps someday a good mood will strike dusk on the outside and she'll let us all out. That said, where might that ball carrier sir be? His son's buried in the mountains. He doesn't want to ruin it with us in a place like this. I've heard tell of the grievances between you two, but must you settle matters by such means? What else? I just feel like that. Don't bother feeling about it. Bystanders always think they understand it all, but people's empathy always turns out to have limits. I know in my heart that the right thing to do is what's necessary and what's unnecessary. It's common sense, anyone would know. But sometimes our feelings won't listen to sense. It's raining. Ah, well, it's not as if just waiting around like this poses much problem. Why don't you all give raising an inning spirit a try? I've discovered that if you just grant these things a level mind and calm approach, they're actually quite affectionate. This goes to show the Sui regulator had reasons to beware her. Alright, there's not much to gain from quarreling over them in here. How about we head inside, away from the rain? Strange how it can rain in here too. Truly strange what falls isn't even ink. Mr. Taihei, won't you come in? What of Master Shen? What's the master up to? It's been a moment now, but he's still fixated on his palms. Are you watching the rain? Yes. According to nothing, this whole world is just her scroll. Artwork all around, vivid and lifelike. At sunrise, fowls fly from the steep forest, mist covers the land. You see sunlight without the sun itself, reflections of thousands of floors, and all is silent. If this is a painting, then who knows just what this artist has seen with the Yan scenery. How refined, Rainmaster. I only know that Rainmaster of Duckweed's Shen Lu once served 10 years in the army. Who knew he was so versed in literature? I've just been around for a while. The only shame is that rain in spring shouldn't be so warm. Go, part is open. Where are we? Very wise, Rainmaster. I did it without thinking. Shenzhong. Was this the reason you all fought over the goblet? The clouds roll above the mountains. What's happening over there? I'm getting a little twitchy now. Oh, more resilient than Sui Xiang I met alone, it seems. More lofty posture. It possesses its form, but ultimately has not its spirit. We're still here. What spirit is it going to have? It probably used a similar method to that goblet, but for completely opposite effect. So the shape, that's all. Form but no spirit. In the end, it's just a... Hey, look at that. You're pretty scared, aren't you? But what did you say? You know, I feel like you've been digging at me with that form but no spirit stuff. It's been contained with this pavilion for the time being, but if it's disturbed any further, things will be tough. What a pain. This sure isn't the kind of thing you'd throw a firecracker at. Whew. Aren't you going to keep at it? You really don't like lifting a finger? So this is what scared you? Oh, little Dusk. Don't call me that. I see you even shiver so. Are you fine? My little sister here hid in a scroll for a century without closing her eyes, all because she was so scared of this shadow of us here. Makes sense she's got the stage fright now. Don't you make such light of me, light of it, even if it's just a reflection. To be precise, it's us three's reflections and a quarter of its Sui's. But it's us. What are we going to... Rummaging through my paintings. Are you mocking me? I'm gonna suggest you to you right now to rein your imagination in. This thing already forged out my seventh weapon concept without me even thinking it. Just take a deep breath, okay? Save us from getting slammed inside one of your paintings next. Paintings? Huh. You have noticed? The way is natural and the foundation simple. Sui was never of such fanciful tricks. In the end, this great correspondence before us, Sui Xiang, is no more than the most unrealistic colors in our deepest selves. Yeah, Sui is but the years of months drawn out long, and change has been vast. It is on the brink of madness. It's already mad. Right now, at this moment, we're just one of its dreams. When it wakes, we'll all be done for. We won't just be done for, Yan will suffer for it too. Ling. Oh, little Nian, is that why you wish to resist I? Yes. Then you surely have quite the sophisticated plan. That part I can't guarantee. I can only say this beast sitting around waiting for it. This beats. The beast. I see. Why? Because I don't accept this. I really don't mind. And you? She just dragged me here, that's all. And maybe I have the slightest bit of expectation. Really? Shut it. I asked after you just now as to our collective exit, and your reply to me was that you don't know. This answer truly is not a fine one. Look now, you are still you, with your own ideas, your own emotions ranges, your own adorations, your own fancied persons, your own fond sceneries. To live in this land is quite fine, is it not? Whatever it may be. Don't we have any responsibility for it? I am me. Why should I have much ado about it? Myriad years the human realm was drunk, and it won't permit me one farcical dream. So your answer is... I mind not. Lift your head and drink. Tail as a brush, ink as a shadow. Let wind rise, brilliant in sharp anonymity. Let rain fall, tassels soaked within. And thus let the might of wine cleanse my heart. A board game? What game? I'm not too educated in the whole art of the piece. Wei Qi, the Go of Yan. Now that's too complicated. What say you then? How about that 5 in a row one? A child's game. Quite fine enough for me. You like playing this chess stuff then? I don't. The chesses are extremely boring. Here I thought you were a board game maniac. You know, those types who only stop to eat and then keep on playing. Both sides of a board follow the same rules, black and white doing death onto each other along crossing lines. What's the meaning in it? Pieces in the end are just a method of playing games. So why fetch me? A fight of eye against eye is far too boring. Where we not just at the mountain's foot? Only they would be capable of this sort of thing. Miss Ning, follow me closely, please. There seems to be a bright light in the room ahead. Really now, starting the game without even explaining the rules? What about you all? You really put me on the spot asking me to play this stuff. I only know the general strategy. No rush, no rush. I've waited a great many years for this match. Now, what exactly is beating a layman like me going to do for you? You should wait for your helper. Lee? Why are you... Liang Shun. And Miss Ning. I've met you before, Assistant Minister Ning. There is much I wish to ask of the candle holders, but now seems not to be the time. Assistant Minister? Sit. With this, it's more or less set. What do you intend on doing? Having a game of Wei Qi with you all. You don't like Wei Qi, but you'd yank all these people in just to play with you. I suppose. That goblet of yours has done me some serious damage. If that lady hadn't finally exposed the truth, how on Terra would I have ended up? Uncertain, perhaps at some waking, you would find yourself to be the illusory dream instead. The bubble pops and the one who opens his eyes me. What? Now that's just plain terrifying. Terrifying indeed. You don't seem to feel any way about it. Really, I said it was terrifying. Huh. I'll leave it at that then. Both of you may think it was random chance that Liang Shun should choose to involve you in this. But unfortunately, though it's true there is countless coincidences in this world, for this, you are the sole exception. There is a man by the name of Y. Huh. Your expression changes. It seems you only let out that mote of superfluous seriousness when your friends are mentioned. Come, it's your turn. I must warn you. One mindless move and the whole game is lost. Lee, be calm. How did you escape, sir? I thought for a long time and realized one way. That's all. A co-fight. How will you respond to this calamity? This game. In the game of Wei Qi, few can surpass you, sir. Is that not so? I've simply lived for a while. Any longer and be boring. Miss Ning, what say you to this one? Don't overthink it. A white stone hits the board. The outcome is clearly in sight. I've been too recklessly about these past few days. It's not your fault. What does this match signify? It's only a game, don't overthink it. It's very hard not to. Think about what wins and loses first. Your turn. That state of things is evident to all at this point. You don't need to carry on mystifying them. So you want to concede. What about the others? I imagine the meaning of this game isn't on the board at all. It's only right that our win or loss shouldn't be determined in this corner. The best tactic with people who love to confuse things is to play just as mad along with them. I'm not good at any kind of chess, but I am good at reading people. I'll answer the question you just posed, young candleholder. There was an accident previously. I lost a younger sister. You may be young, but as the responsibility lies with you, I'm sure you can understand what I'm saying. This isn't a topic you can discuss here. That is true. Please speak, sir, with caution. After that, my tiny little residence piece basket was less one black stone. It was barely broken in that accident. And after that I thought and thought about what I should do, and what I even could do. The current Grand Tutor, the first time I saw him, he was but an deprived student, led by the teacher of prestige past the
stagnant city, gazing towards that towering estate wall. You are no, you have no freedom of movement. You shouldn't have seen the Grand Tutor before. He is an intriguing one. He said something that lodged deep within my heart at a time when I'd gotten sick of these stone-cold counters. You seem very boresome, to the point of stiffness. Behind Lee at this moment are many people. Friends, companions, high officials just met, and adversaries for the time being. But Lee still can't see the person before him clearly, this person who appears as a false image of himself. His features are indistinct, so indistinct it puts shivers down the spine. One more move, and even if I somehow understood less about board games, I'd still be able to tell it was your win long ago. If you and I agree to identical rules, what victory or loss could lie on the board? Well, that's some sophistry. You need to apologize to every Grandmaster in all the realm. So be it. All in all, I've enjoyed my days carried at your side very much. This match is your win. It seems we haven't quite finished playing. I simply underestimated my little sisters. Our match has no real meaning. Call this my surrender. I thought you'd be the type who never likes losing. Ah, yes, I did indeed lose. And you caught us, name of Kroose. Nian has an ulterior motive in choosing Rhode Island. I wish you used a bit more positivity to describe Nian and our relationship, you know. No matter. Understand it how you want to. You've no way to uninvolve yourself anymore. Should little dust catch sight of your squalid garden, I predict she'll be of quite some temper. You've arrived. Your tone to my ears does not welcome me. Having so many about you to keep you company with a game of talk. What could it be? Have you been too lonely? You saw through that mirage. If so, Nian and Dusk must not have been able to beat it. So you had guessed. Kroose, now allow me past. Let me be closer to my brother. Alright. Come to mention it, where'd you even learn my name? You played black. Who played white? I cast myself as the peace, contested with the common folk, and was restless without victory. Was G's disappearance the cause? I have surrendered now. You all needn't stay longer. Only Ling. There's a small present I've sent you that you haven't noticed yet. Once you witnessed it, come and find me again. Your regard for her has nothing to do with this. I only fault the human realm for being so exceedingly dull. Let's continue. What were you doing while we were stuck inside that strange place? I wanted to choose a handy staff. I didn't find one. Unfortunate. Hey, are you still about to go at it? You had so long to rest, and you couldn't cool your tempers one bit. Lumux, Master Shen, come now, give them a piece of your minds. A change in the summits. This means what Mr. Ling briefed us about has come true. Sui Xiang has manifested. Higher priorities first. I'd better go up the mountain too. Then go ahead. Will you really not listen to what I have to say? What happened up there? Watch your heads. Stone comes rolling down. Sheng Jingzhu brandishes his blade. If only 20 years ago, no, 10 years ago, he had the self-confidence to cleave apart these boulders as great as his head, not a speck of dust on him. But he is old now. Dad, watch out! Yi, my girl. He is old, and his child has grown up. No thoughts plague Zheng Xingzhu. A rock strikes his daughter in the head as he moves to save him, and she falls off the cliffside. Yet without the slightest hesitation, he jumps down after her. Innkeeper! Hey now, hey! What are you doing? Why did he jump down along with her? Shenru. I'll look below, and you get up there. Don't act without thinking, no matter what you see at the summit. I'll go with you. How? Yi. Thank heaven, she's only unconscious. If I wasn't deflecting at the crucial moment, you two would have long fallen to your deaths. Shang Zhang. Once again, Sheng Jingzhu, once again. Back then, you couldn't protect my son, protect Du Yaoyi's father, protect the damned goblet. You should know the blame you carry. It's still not time for you to bemoan yourself, and you can forget having any right to. Your arm is hurt, and so is my leg. You and I are even. Let us continue before they get in the way again. One move will be enough. It's so tall. You really never sensed it. Walking ordinarily on the roads, how steep this peak truly is. People should not always walk on the given path. Your move just now counts as having saved my life. It saved the child. Yes, you saved the child too. So now, am I going to do you for life or death now? Why you? Come on then. Deep in the forest, white snow still rests. The two face each other in silence. The sound of a zither passes them by, its notes mournful. Who is it? Ling does not speak. She simply quietly sits cross-legged, seated upon an ice-cold boulder. The wind blows aslant in the twilight, the sun about to set beneath. This pair of enemies faces each other anew. A zither single pluck sounds, as if from the heavens, even so the girl is not holding one. Did we make it out from that weird guy's grasp? Looks like we are still not out of the woods yet. Getting blackmailed by myself really isn't a happy experience. Lord Zuo. Uncle Taihei. What happened? I met the offender. What if we truly take him at the word? Then the three face their own self-shackles at this moment. You have misgivings. I just don't understand why the Grand Tutor would trust that offender. If they fail, we'll be confronting their reflection here in Shangshu, even if it's only a small reflection. The Sui regulator was planning to pursue Tianchi Bai into action with this. Yes, that's what my father hopes. The sky. The shadows are taking form. Is this Sui's reflection? The Ministry of Rights has Blood Thunder count by Diangshan in Shangshu overseeing a team. This is only the Sui Xiang shadow. It won't make waves. What is it looking at? Zhu Li suddenly senses that Sui Xiang is examining this land closely. Now longing, now grieving, now merciful. And once a breeze blows past, the massive shadow, in the blink of an eye, vanishes like smoke. What? It disappeared? From a farcical dream it awoke and so disappeared. How did you... Ling! Hmm? You could do things like this all along. We were there thinking of every way, every way we could possibly save our own existential skins, and you could have just clapped your hands and broken that illusion up. Our lives are but a fantasy, like a dewdrop of lightning, leaving not a trace in the end. Scarcely known was it if you or I was it Jesus. Scarcely know was it if you, I, or it, like the shadow's shadow, and its shade seemed to be yet turn out not. So may the one who comes to nothing and is shattered not be it? You say that real lightly. It is but a lightest thing, and that is why I am your big sister after all. The Sui Regular demands Nian and thus give an explanation. Additionally, the three of you cannot act in concert. You must leave Shangshu under the Sui Regulator's supervision. What? Can't we just have a family reunion at Rhode Island instead? I still want to pull a couple more in. Wait, are you serious? If Rhode Island intends to attract even more scrutiny, if you believe what I say, then maybe you ought to come see for yourself. That's, well, considering this whole...
I will provide assurance. Lin Jingyan. Oh.
Lazy. Long haven't we met, Kroose? Is this a new operator by your side?
I am the humble nothing. Well met, Miss Lazy.
Right. I thought the Central Judicial Office was unwilling to interfere in the Sui Regulator's affairs. As a disciple of the Tianchi Burrows, I simply exhorted my master's good friend Master Taihei to allow all some leeway on this matter. No wonder Miss Niang always held her fire. You persuaded Tianchi Bai beforehand. But at what moment can the Tianchi take charge of this matter? Naturally they can't. But at this juncture, the Sui Regulator may not be allowed to throw down decisions either. What? The Grand Tutor has arrived in Shangshu. Sui Regulator Candleholder Zhuo Li, Assistant Minister of Rights Ning Xingshu, Department of Discipline and Supervision Deputy Jesus Christ. Deputy...
I think that should be Monitor.
Monitor Censor Taihei, Shangshu Magistrate Liang Shun, and I myself must all return to the Liang estate before the hour of Tzu. We will await the Grand Tutor's orders.
As you command.
Nian, Dusk, Ling. The three of you to the Liang estate too, please. The Grand Tutor wants to see you for himself. Quite good. Some 30 years and more have passed since I last met him. How much could he have changed from then to now? Alright, here we go again. You are awake.
A daydream.
You and I know well this was their strategy. That game of Wei Qi.
All in all, it was but a fluke we didn't lose. It was but the combined power of all present facing a lone person over a game of Wei Qi. No great brilliance to it in the end.
Brilliance. Doing battle with him, What do brilliance and disgrace matter?
Yi, my girl.
You're still fighting in this sorry state.
Yi, you are hurt worse than we are. Don't be brave. Zheng, why did you stow your blade at the last moment? If you didn't, would a hurt little girl be able to hold you back? You want to run? I humiliate you and you have your peace of mind, is that it?
What about you?
I'm the same. Yi, you've grown up. You've grown up. The zither ceases. Ling's figure scatters into the air like music about the beams. This is no beautiful dream. A small present, he called it. Now she has a question. A question she wants an answer to. Alright, and on to the final part, titled Another Round. It says, when the game comes to an end, another is set to begin. If all the realms a game of Wei Qi, when will the players ever find a moment of respite?
What of Rhode Island's plans after this? Huh? Did I ever introduce myself? What of your plans, even? I've been planning to get this all behind me, go back and ask that aloof Mr. Liang to pay my bills well. Perhaps he was right, and you and me are not solely together brought for this. Only... Lazy, how did you... I happened to learn from fellow disciples about the Mount Hushi business, and immediately rushed for Shangshu. I might have been a little late, but not too late, after all. That's good then. Miss Ling. I have a question. How do beings like you determine, who's older and younger? Establishing the pecking order. Within the Sea of Chaos, whoever first finds that answer, first exists upon the human realm. What answers that? One to a question incredibly simple. Who am I? Mr. Taihei, Mr. Zuoli, it's good to meet you.
Miss Ning, good to meet you. Assistant Mr. Ning, my pleasure.
This unbecoming of my ethique that I could not offer you hospitality for your time in Shangshu.
We came uninvited and troubled you greatly. We should be first to apologize.
You came on your father's orders, hanging the goblet and Mount Hushi incidents in the Sui regulator's name.
Handling, not heading.
It was swift, fierce action.
Your insight is as a beacon, Miss Ning. But Mr. Liang's actions breaking past settled positions were all the more admirable.
Were it not for the Sui regulator's radicality, he may not have needed such drastic action.
My consciousness is clear. I imagine the Department of Discipline and Supervision will pursue their own amends once they learn of this. I've drawn up my report to the Emperor. It's open and fair, no bias allowed for. As you say, Mr. Taihei,
Garner loyalty and forsaken righteousness.
Indeed.
But the Sui regulator has overstepped its ambit. No matter the Grand Tutor's determining, I will report the reality to to the High Minister, as one should.
No need. Zuli.
Here.
By your interference, and in those circumstances, how long would you need to suppress the situation should the three Sui Xiang roam the human realm to harm Shangshu? And should the bestial Sui have awakened and Yan ready the city to fight in, what would the price be?
The former would require 3 days' effort. The latter would be mutual loss, with the Farenwood dead and 3/10 of the army gone.
Ling Shung. Here. If I sentence you to death today to protect the Ministry of Rights and Sui Regulator, what would you do? Submit to the law, as I ought. Then if by unexpected turns your actions today led Shangshu City to be damaged and common people harmed, what would you do? Should I have sought a way for survival, then better late than never. The game until now, was of equal occupation. The Lungmanite you chose was an unusual, irrational move, yet he sees some hint from it. A suboptimal piece. Given so, how much more is within his reckoning, and how much that he hasn't accounted for will return to benefit him?
You perceive this matter finely, Grand Tutor.
Ling Sheng, the one to take your place as magistrate, will arrive in Shangshu within a month. Prepare the transition and leave with me.
I do not know what you mean, Grand Tutor.
Follow me to the capital. My thanks, Grand Tutor. But
Ning Shishu, congratulate Mr. Liang on his promotion.
Assistant Minister Ning. Yumin's route back to Yan is set. I docked with Lungman yesterday to ready and resupply.
Was Yuman City avoiding catastrophe, or?
It had other purpose. Leave for Yuman ahead of time. When I and Lin Shun finish business in the capital, we will naturally proceed for it too.
Alright. Understood.
Taihei. All is proceeding smoothly. Good.
Uncle Taihei, so you long since...
Garner loyalty and forsake righteousness. Blame me not, young man. We will withhold investigation into these Sui regulators' labs here for now. At present, only determining whether the 181 black stones are is key.
Understood. Grand Tutor, when will you leave Shangshu?
Tomorrow eve.
So very pressing. Need we not await the messenger's ranks escort?
Unnecessary.
Tianchi Bai will want to send you off.
Unnecessary still.
Shangshu's mountain ways are rugged. I fear it may be dangerous if you are alone.
What, as if, Billy criminals dare run amok within Shangshu's borders?
No, I simply mind your advanced years. Be careful on your lone outings, please.
Within Great Yan's domain under heaven, I only fear if the common people go without peace and national trade is not sufficiently prosperous. What else should I fear? Is anything else worth my fear at all?
That's over with. Past the fire of danger. You certainly didn't feel the heat, but the danger waited on us all. So it was all your secret orders from the Sui regulator, having me bring the cup from Lungmen back to Shangshu. But your status stood in the way, and so did a certain someone by your side, so you had to put a thief's cap on me and get past escort to act their show. But you never coordinated the act with me, which I think shows you never wanted to put it on in the first place. You know I never liked acting. So, was this your own idea?
Yes.
But the candle holders were in Shangshu and they wouldn't give up at the drop of a hat. You never even wanted this to go down in Shangshu, let alone the Sui regulator usurping you for a while, then at the Ministry of Rights staring into each other.
True.
But if you had your way there, you'd be cast on injustice aside. And so there was someone who probably loved nosing and probably felt very sorry for you, and he sent a bounty hunter to come and steal the cup. Since then it's a wait. You know who that someone is.
Maybe I do.
Nobody foresaw Sheng Zhong would come soaring through the sky out for a life. Things turned out for the worst, and of everyone tumbled to Zhijing Peak and the Field of Forgotten Water. Not very smart work for you, no, not smart at all. But for you, for Liangshun, maybe it was a little too smart at the same time. Which is why I entrusted you with it. Someone who could both tell what I was thinking and would never betray his friends. Should I thank you for this, considering me a friend? Well, all said and done though, I wasn't out to find who that goblet owner was.
What were you looking for?
You. You're still that same old you, filled with ambitions as ever, aren't you?
Me?
You've gotten smarter, Liangshun. But that's just fine. Carry on, you.
I have a rough idea as to Huai Tianpei's whereabouts.
You've had a rough idea for ages. You just didn't want me distracted.
Are you upset at me for not telling you?
I was more worried I needed to keep assisting you.
There has been a rumor going on about the world of Yanni's Kung Fu lately.
The martial world's rumors.
When there's Kung Fu involved, he could hardly be left out of things. Shangshu's a fine place.
The plum blossoms bloom late this year, and I wondered why. So your private visit to the city, it was a rare guest.
When did you master this place?
If wished you did to look in.
Boy, oh boy. Poetic sentences.
If wished you did not look into it deeply, I could be considered half of these mountains' master too.
The point in question isn't in the persons, it's in you and your collective. When the day comes, what side you stand on, what ways you see things, which ways your hearts feel, will all determine what is lost in the battle there and then.
Yan is a hard foe to defeat.
You do have the right to speak on behalf of Yan's army. You and that learned master held the north for 100 years apiece. It would be recognized. If not for that, the court would hardly remember you so fondly. The Sui regulator's deeds may be sensed to encroach, but no matter what, you are fondly cherished.
The years and months tower tall, joys parted with so reluctantly. To this day, in my deepest drunken depths, still my ears prick at horns sounding battalions forth.
Nian.
Uh-huh.
The court wants to make a deal with you.
Well, how about that? I thought I'd be getting my execution date.
The Chamber of Heaven's designs hasn't ceased once in a whole millennium. Countless troops and Tianqi lie buried in action in the north, yet evil rises as virtue does. The slaughter of wicked spirits is endless, and we've not been able to close the book on it. The finest of soldiers, the greatest of marshals, the wisest of Tianqi all rushed to man the frigid north, year upon year upon year. The court wants you to erect 12 pagodas and 5 cities outside the Chamber of Heaven's designs, 3,000 mechanisms, millions of terracottas. You need to do it immediately, nor will you be on your own. Yan has begun sorting it out, drafting blueprints, and assigning every great Tianqi to the case. I hope you will lend a hand. It will allow someone to make a return from that tower, at the least.
Who?
One who would never fall, but absolutely must never fall.
You're kidding. I heard some of the rumors from Lazy. Her founder was a super annoying guy, even if she never met him. A special case of a long life warped by dependence on Originium. Such humankind really doesn't agree with me. Isn't this just because Isn't this just because he gave you all that hassle? Ah, I remember him. Is he still well?
He is. He's been stationed at the north for over 370 years now. If he can return home, the court will be willing to let him rest at ease, allow him a peaceful retirement. But the man always says he'd hate to be idle.
Sounds like some major engineering work. What do I get out of it then?
The court will help you with what you want to do.
The wild
Bestial of bloodshot eyes can't be caged forever.
Huh. It all sounds like a win-win for you. We young people sure love to haggle.
That's all on that. Think about it.
I have a matter I'd like to ask of you in turn.
Please, go on.
As of now, is he...
His actions surpassed all pharmacologists' predictions, turning his own flesh into 181 black zones, scattering them in the human realm. He wants to set up a game across the entire land.
Why?
In his endgame days, he'll surely appear again. You'd best ask him yourself then.
It's a game we must win.
We cannot lose.
Did you hear that, you two? Would he lose to this Grand Tutor playing on a 19 by 19? Of course he wouldn't. Then how did the Grand Tutor beat him?
The Grand Tutor did not play Go with him.
Why? Black and white in their millions upon 19 by 19. It has its intrigue, true, but the Grand Tutor speaks that absorbed within a board of pieces. He cannot see men. Men. Thus, the Grand Tutor played a different game with him, with Jan's domain as the board, with the land's every commoner as the pieces. Who won? The Grand Tutor at that time. Thus, he was willingly bound in captivity by Jan, and with every loss he would stay prisoner 60 years. Heh, if Jan always had a genius to beat him, he'd never get a foot out of the capital his whole life, huh? Who can profess to know? He's very poor at the chesses, truth be told. Very slow to learn, too. Centuries ago, in one cycle of 60 years, he lost hundreds upon thousands of games. The following cycle, he lost some less, and after one more, no more than 100 games, give or take. And so forth until a point when no one was left who could beat him. Thus, on that cycle, he left the capital, and so that incident transpired. That's when our third says, We could all sense that this was no pleasant matter. So the Grand Tutor had to kick his ass before he dragged his own tail back to the capital, ready to be punished. Perhaps it was a good long while since last he lost in one fell swoop. Or it may be that his sights were not set on Yan alone anymore. So, you Ning Xingshu, and you, the bounty hunter of enough bravery to plunder a Tianqi bureau procession. I didn't know they were good guys yet. Where's that old man anyway? That Bai guy? I will take you to meet him. I think in this turn of events, things are due for you. It's alright. But I still don't get the full picture. Was it just a goblet? If you knew where it was, couldn't you go sneak it off yourself and be done with it? He would not want to hand it to me, so I could hardly take it. So you got me to help. Why? Why, I wonder. I simply didn't want him drawn into so many vexing matters without the slightest self-awareness. So, this bounty hunter really was yours, Assistant Minister Ning? Hey! You need not raise your hackles. They are not enemies. Only... It was the Sui regulator who hasted in its conduct. We won't question her deeply. As long as she entered Yan's borders through legitimate means, of course. Of course. Go and meet with Tianqi Bai, Black Knight. He awaits you at the agreed location. Alright, take care. You seen through both the Sui regulator and Mr. Liang's schemes? Not too long ago. But you seem to not have seen through Mr. Liang's plans to mediate from within. He may simply have been apprehensive about betraying you, Miss Ning. Regardless, the Sui regulator overstepped their bounds in this. We will later address the matter ourselves within the Ministry of Rights. It is no matter. 'Tis all to plan further for Yan. 'Tis cold outside. May you all rest soon. I will go see young Black Knight. This her first time in Yan, and I cannot rest easy. Farewell, Miss Ning. Be safe. Lord Zuo. I can only hope despair in love aren't shaken by big things to come. You're young, Mr. Long Zuo. Jesus. You're young, Lord Zuo. To say such things invites ideas of feigned maturity. As a candle holder, I have none of my own ties of the sort. If I may boldly mention, when you previously passed through that pavilion and dealt with bandits, you did have... I trusted girl was only repaying the favor. How can you muddle this with affairs between the sexes? It was a life saved. If the intent was impure, then that would only further serve doubts of advantages being taken. You presume wrong, Uncle Taihei. It is as you say, young man. Not heading back to Lungmen, Mr. Lee? No, there's still someone I need to find. Come with. I'm stopping by the branch office with the funny man anyhow, and then I've got to get back to Rhode Island landship. It seems we'll be tagging along, but I'd rather not be a nuisance to Rhode Island again. No need to stand on honor. Trust me, it's personal matters. That codename Nothing Operator got drawn into all this mess. Had his leg hurt for nothing, and he's still in the hospital now. Don't want to give you all more grief than that. That's good then. Kroose? Ah, fancy that. Mulberry. If you're in Shangshu already, I'm guessing Lava got to the branch office a while ago then? Yeah, Lava wanted me to tell you too. It's best you head there quickly. It seems like something else happened. This trip to Yan sure never takes a breather. It happens. It used to just be around Lungmen and stuff. Oh, right. I've been wanting to ask. You said Mr. Liang and Wei and Wu are real alike, but alike how? Did I say that? You did. After we met him, I was even thinking, wait, they're completely different. Well, after all, both their sweethearts have them by their ears. You're back. 181 black stones. You'll beat Sui to losing your sanity. Well, you've already spent all these years in here, in your drunken stupor. No, the years and months mean nothing to you. That farce of the Xiangyu Escort Association was a move planned out by you. Not totally. They should be clean of responsibility for me. Why swallow them all into this? Just as a reminder. A reminder to me? You dream of all under heaven, though you know how the universe dwarfs us. The grass in spring still tugs at your heart. From Jingnan up to Saibei, then back to the summit atop the clouds, you've changed a lot. It disturbs me, little sister, so I warn you. Warn you that the feelings of man are not so pure as those moralists would have you believe. Set on equality pitted sides, the brother is in strife, love and disgust and passion and resentment, all taken as pieces of the game. You don't fear them now, of course you don't, but sooner or later you will. Nian will, Dusk will. They've become too much like people, so they will come to fear those things. That is all this little warning is. Are you angered? The cup should only hold wine. Wine should not be so wordy. In that instant, all things halt. Shangshu's 3 mounts and 17 peaks now have one more peak, and countless more trees within countless more branches, with countless more leaves. Wind blows, but the leaves are still. Shangshu once had a catastrophe. The devastating storm loose with sparks, shattered originium crystals descending like fiery rain. Shangshu once had a catastrophe. Someone offered wine to the heavens, and the black clouds parted, and the people were safe. And yet now you're going to fling this goblet to the black clouds. A black goblet, a black peace. In the face of the most terrifying disaster of all the land, all trace is instantly annihilated. Are you feeling wrathful, compassionate, envious? Carve these emotions into you. Things are soon to come. Things soon to come. Certainly, I cannot stay uninvolved. Isn't that right? Phew. For now. I shall go purchase wine. I'll be leaving Shengshu. I won't stop you. If two people were to kill each other, the feelings aren't too hard to understand. But if two people want to be killed by the other, then we should save the effort. We'd just be bellowing. I'm planning to retire now. Du Yaoyi still isn't ready for it. And doesn't the girl seem just a little like she wants her own business? If so, I'll shutter things. Don't you agree? I'm not one of the escorts. Good. Zheng Jingzhu, our business is only postponed for a while. We're not shaking hands and making up here. Association customs say you don't talk grudges when you're at the bar. I'll be in Shengshu anyhow, waiting for you. One last thing. I hear... Dad, Mr. Shang! What are you charging in here about? I've decided. Me and the guys all talked it through. We're going to Yumen. And there we go, the end of the story. Much foreshadowing, much things explained, but most importantly, we have seen quite a lot how Yan works, functions, how they do things. A lot of new background images just to have some kind of pictures of how their cities are arranged. Still find it fascinating that the Changshu itself is pretty much city plates literally smacked into the mountain. That looks freaking cool if you ask me. But yeah. But yeah, before my voice gives in completely. Closing thoughts on the story. Well, what can I say? I wouldn't say it's complicated because of the narrative, but it's complicated because of how many factions and things were suddenly shown, even though it slowly eases you and has been, well, technically it has been easing us in for a long while now. We have seen or heard some stuff through Lazy and her file. Obviously, if people don't have Lazy and have no access to their file, there's obviously wikis and shit, but still, her stuff alluded to something. Then there is Lazy's own short module story, which talks about her days in training, essentially, which I highly recommend you look up if you want. It's literally on this channel as a narrated short story. But yeah, in general, a lot of things got shown, a lot of new characters got shown. I wonder if any of these people will be operators in the future. I don't know about Miss Du here, even though her profile is quite sharply detailed compared to some of the other people. I don't think she might be an operator in the future, but there is always a 50-50 chance, considering she just at the very end proclaimed that for some reason she and her boys, her employees, are going to another one of the Yan cities, which again is foreshadowing, and especially with Lee and Kroose saying here as well at the end that they are going to a different place, even though they're obviously also going to stop by Rhode Island. Definitely this story will continue, I hope. I really hope at least that it will continue, because it's been fascinating. I really do want to see more of Yan, of different places and different parts of it. But yeah, overall story very interesting. Lots of foreshadowing for
the greater thing, the greater threat here, especially with the way the stage was made and shown well, essentially a mirage of what the big threat here is. So we'll see how that evolves in the future. Hopefully. Again, hopefully. But what else? Well, I don't know what else I can say about it. The only thing I can say, I pretty much enjoyed this story. It was very interesting to read through for the first time as well. I hope you who were listening to this had also fun listening to it. But yeah, here's hoping for more in the coming future on this. And as I said, hopefully some of these people that we've met become operators, considering how detailed they were, and hopefully someone fixes this guy's goddamn profile picture. I still cannot get over it that in every single one, he is literally looks like his head is slightly like cut at one point and then just shifted slightly to the left. Looks painful, looks off. But yeah, if anybody is wondering how and when Black Knight joins Rhode Island, it's probably not gonna be shown until the next story specifically. But regarding from her file, if you do have her, you can check it there. It does kind of slightly allude to the fact that just by meeting Kroose and gang, she got intrigued to go and check Rhode Island out, considering she's technically a mercenary, so why not? But yeah, let's leave it at that. Currently my head is fried and my voice needs to chill for a bit. So, like I said, hope everybody enjoyed the story. Hopefully the voiceover narration wasn't too cringy. There were some voices in there, oh boy. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic day wherever you are. And until the next video, this has been Jacob. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you. Ugh, cannot even talk anymore. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.